retired of
The flag was
But many of the manufacturers have their stuff here. So we're going to send it for today's national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
There's your national anthem, and we are underway at the ExxonMobil Albuquerque Food Fiesta, competition day #1. But first, we're going to have a mini mass ascension off Fiesta Field.
of just 300 balloons. Or
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
All righties. Yep.
Again, that was Jacob Little in the Xfinity balloon from Glendale, Arizona. And you got word from Henry exactly what we're doing competition-wise today.
I did. I pulled up the task. So as expected, Monday, traditional that we do the Sid Cutter Memorial task. So we're going to put a little boat out there in the center of the field, and there's going to be an X right off the bow of that boat. And the X, the center of the X is the 0 point. And the closest point that gets you a score is the bow of the boat.
Okay.
So the best score is going to be somewhere around 6 or 8 feet. If you're in the boat or on the boat, you're going to get that score. If your marker falls outside of the boat, think of it as being in the water. So they'll measure it to whatever distance it is and add 300 feet.
Okay.
Because they have to retrieve it out of the water.
Right.
Now, they're also going to put some fabric out there. They're going to outline some areas. So a couple of islands that you could hit,
So
and you'll get scored to that.
So some beachfront property.
Beachfront.
Okay.
Well, there's a whole land mass, which would be more your beachfront in addition to the island. So there's 3 sections of land that you can hit in addition to the boat. Now, those are obviously much farther away than the boat, so your distance is going to be out there. But if you get in the land, you get your actual distance. Get in the boat, you get your actual distance. Go in the water, it's your distance plus 300 feet.
Gotcha.
Okay? Now, just to mix it up some more, we're going to do a task called a hesitation waltz, or a Hez waltz, some people abbreviate it as. There will be 4 X's out there, and they kind of outline a square around where the boat is. So if you're off to the left, you're off to the right, something like that, you're going to be able to aim your marker at one of those X's. Now, you can only throw on one of those. It's 2 tasks. You throw on the Sid Cutter. In fact, you need to throw your red marker on the Sid Cutter.
I was going to ask which color you had to throw.
Red goes on that. You can throw any color other than red or orange on the hesitation waltz X's.
Right.
And those would be measured to the center of the X. There's none of that extra penalty stuff for being too far out of the area, etc. So you're going to come out, you're going to come in, you're going to try and throw a red marker on the boat, and you're going to try and throw any other color on one of the X's. 2 different tasks, 2 different sets of scores today.
Gotcha.
I didn't see in there whether they were going to set the truck up. Now, last year, we actually put an old full-time truck out there
From Cutter Aviation.
from Cutter Aviation. It's a little farther away from the X than the boat is, but still closer than the islands or the landmass.
So once you get down there, you'll be able to let us know if there's going to be
Once
a
we
truck.
get down there, we'll see if the truck has been set up and how all of that comes together.
There's some riders checking off their bucket list with Rainbow Riders out here.
We saw those big baskets laying on the side earlier. And that one looks like one of those, is it 3 or 4 burners? Can't quite tell.
And then second floor.
And yeah, like 618, 615.
Yeah, that is Juan Garcia Patrol Police Canada. So again, Rainbow Riders has their own operations here within the United States, with 4 locations. But for Balloon Fiesta, they will sub out ride company operations from all over the United States and as well as Canada. And last year I had a friend of mine's son, he and his better half came down here from Toronto. I was going to have them fly with Brad Rice, a local pilot, because they had booked a flight with Rainbow Riders. Well, when they got there, the message or the memo got lost somewhere. But ironically, they flew with a pilot from their hometown of Mississauga, Ontario.
Wow.
So it just kind of all worked out. So
Oh, nice.
Jim Wader and family were extremely excited once they got back up there to the Great White North. Some more shots of the ride balloons getting ready to go.
There's a few of them up and away. The University of New Mexico UNM Lobo balloon is in the air while we look at the New Mexico State balloon on the feed.
We ought to play fair, right? We have 2 major universities in the state, so
In the
they each
state.
get their own balloon.
Yep.
That's well, that's actually Tommy McConnell,
Yeah.
the son of Doc McConnell.
And we saw the zebra come running out away from the balloon because he's going to get out far enough to be able to see if there is any other balloon traffic. Because remember, we're launching from the middle of the field and the south end of the field at the same time. So we want to make sure that those coming from the middle are not right over the top. And lots of whistles we hear as we get 2 balloons right off row A.
And I see Earl Buzzard back behind the balloon that's rising right there, and I'm trying to get a banner number here for 11.
I should know that.
That's Tom Steinbach.
Okay.
Redwood, Kentucky.
Good morning, Tom. Tom over the head. The other Tom.
Yes.
Yeah. We're being split by Toms.
That's Earl Buzzard right there. Buzzard is the wave. There he is. Hey, Earl.
Oh, we just panned up
Oh, we
off the
just missed
basket into the envelope.
Right in front of us, getting ready to launch, is Mr. Tristan McLean in the ExxonMobil balloon. And we got, well, they're too young to be skipping school, so they're just still home with mom and dad.
They're just out here. Great
But I
time.
used to skip school all the time for Balloon Fiesta. It's probably why I was just a B student, not an A student.
We know of a number of classrooms that like to turn Balloon Fiesta live on in class. So you
So
don't have to
there's
skip.
another good one. If the teachers are out there and they're showing Balloon Fiesta live,
Yeah, in your class.
take a picture and send it to
Yeah,
us.
let's see your class.
Again, send those photos, whether you're on the field, you're at home, you're having a watch party, to Balloon Fiesta at balloonfiestalive.com. There's another shot of
Balloon
Peanuts
Fiesta live at balloonfiesta.com.
Okay, gotcha. Again, back and forth.
Yeah. You know, when we actually named Balloon Fiesta Live, we went through a lot of different naming conventions and kind of called it different things, at least internally, before we ever went live, and played with a lot of different things. And settled on Balloon Fiesta Live because it's very descriptive and you know exactly what's going on. But it does kind of, when you start putting Balloon Fiesta Live with Balloon Fiesta, there gets a lot of Balloon Fiesta in there. Look at that shot. Look at the great
Look at them
deal.
all. They're taking selfies right there to the
Taking
left.
selfies. We saw the 3 burners. We saw the heat shield up there that we saw laying down before.
And there they go right there.
And there, yep, and there they are. And McKenna Sechrist taking Intel right over the top of us. Intel, longtime sponsor here at Balloon Fiesta. New balloon. That blue one, they used to have a kind of a white one that had the primary color signs on it.
Here's the
I think actually still flies without the Intel banner on it.
right.
Count the people. Oh, there's
they're
room for
boarding.
one more.
They're still boarding. I wonder if that was Group C.
Hey, everybody's got an A seat in a.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. It was group 38, but it was 38 is all on one balloon. So there's the KKOB balloon. There's the whole row. Hey, look who's setting up, Arabelle.
Yes, we saw her fly
Over on the right
yesterday.
side? Yeah.
Again, it's always a great day at the Albuquerque National Balloon Fiesta when Arabelle's
When
there.
Arabelle flies.
That or Smokey, any of the special shapes actually. Because you know the wind does some wonky things to those special shapes different than a round balloon.
They
You
do.
know, yeah, especially I was talking to someone over in one of the tents about, you didn't like the balloon as your favorite, but I think the little hammerhead shark was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he did confirm that yes, those little fins do play a role in how it turns and when it turns. And you don't have control over the
So the Visit Albuquerque balloon, we're seeing the red side, of course, the official state question in New Mexico, red or green, meaning what color, what flavor chili would you like? Kind of a, yeah,
And if you want both, it's
Christmas.
there you go.
Red and green. So that was the red side. Rainbow Riders flies that for the Visit Albuquerque, which is the tourism department. And so they fly that year round. It becomes a ride balloon for them, but Visit Albuquerque flies. They actually flew it last month in Colorado Springs for the Labor Day lift.
Yeah, I did see.
That's actually kind of a fairly recent addition to the Rainbow Riders. They were doing balloon rides, and they put up their Rainbow Riders balloons, which we've seen a lot of. But they've kind of branched out now that they will fly a corporate balloon. We talked about Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, Visit Albuquerque, Pinnacle Propane. They've got a number of those that they do.
There's Mr. Paul Smith.
Paul Smith, former executive director, now retired of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
Are we sure?
Well, he's actually still on some level of contracts as a consultant.
There you go.
After 26 years of being the executive director, that institutional knowledge that Paul brings is just incredible. So we were fortunate enough to have him stick around and to be able to continue to provide that level of expertise to our newcomers.
There's Mr. Tristan McLean.
Waving his hat. Good morning, Tristan.
Good morning.
And even, yeah, Tristan's going one direction, Paul's going another, and they're only about 50 feet different in altitude.
Right. And right above them to the right, you can see cherry on top, the UNM balloon.
Going back
coming
to the, yeah. So is Xfinity, just a little bit farther to the south. So they don't have to go very high to start coming back over the field. And as Ted has mentioned a couple of times, when they do come back over the field, they're required to be at least 500 feet over the field, but they need to be that high just to get back to the north.
Yes.
They're lower than 500 feet off the field, they're going to keep going south. I did see we were talking about that commercial program, the corporate. One of the new ones that Rainbow Riders has picked up is the Centennial balloon. It's just that little white one, kind of almost in the top center.
Yep.
And that represents the beginning of the celebration, which actually starts today, the 100th anniversary of Route 66. It's actually next year. We've got a year-long celebration going to be taking place in our area, and there's a Centennial balloon to mark that occasion. We'll be seeing that around lots of times.
I was not around for the beginning of that.
You sure?
Positive.
I wasn't either. And you know what fascinates me is the fact that there seems to be like there's a whole lot of Route 66s. So it kind of must have really, if it really was one route, it really kind of wove around all kinds of different directions. Arabelle almost awake.
Yeah, she may need that second cup of coffee. Pour some more hot air. There we go. All right, right on cue. Yeah, what most people don't realize is that these shapes, a lot of times just during inflation, you will go through what they call an inflation tank.
Yeah.
Just to be able to get enough hot air.
Upwards of like 10 gallons of propane.
Yeah, 10 gallons of liquid propane.
And if you think about that, that's twice the size of the tank you have on your barbecue grill at home.
That's just to get the balloon up, and that doesn't even count for it to sit there and stand during a glow or actually
right. Yeah, that just gets it inflated. The other thing I always tell people, we'll talk.
There's the red side.
Yeah, there's the red side coming right at us.
Let's see.
And you can start to see the green. We're starting to see the green around the left. We were talking about, so if you kind of look at Arabelle, if you kind of look the body, it's really kind of a regular shaped balloon. And all those legs and the horns and the ears and the tail, those are basically kind of filled with cold air. Now, once the hot air keeps going, it starts to fill in and cool. But when Arabelle always first gets up, those legs are just kind of like floppy.
Well, they have those. There's the green side right there.
There's the green
and there
side.
it is, red and green.
There you go.
Yeah, those balloons have a baffling system in them that allows the air to go through and get
which also means that now you have to have an additional deflation port for that panel when you actually bring it down.
Yeah, years ago I flew one of the Monahans, that Simba balloon, the lion head. That thing on each of the hairs that came off of the main, every single one of them had a deflation port. So you had to make sure they were all sealed before
you go, and then unseal them to get it deflated.
Just to deflate that thing.
There you go. I helped the crew on testing the Bulldog many years ago, and it didn't have too many extra deflation ports. And the two special shapes I got to fly. One was Mataruska, the Russian doll, and it was more like a cone. So there wasn't any additional deflation ports on it. And the other one was the Stork, the first incarnation. There were just a few on that one as well. See Cynthia Seal peeking around the back.
Right, purple, they're Rocky top.
Yeah, you just see the
top
piece
right
there. Yeah, and the purple is Dave.
Yep. Mark had told us that he had the privilege this year of flying his 84-year-old father, so that's a pretty cool thing.
Mark has also started posting a lot more videos.
He's gotten very aggressive and
with
some
posting.
really nice videos of what he's producing them and editing them. A lot of fun to wake up. I wake up every morning and I'll see 20, 30, 40 feeds, especially mostly balloon stuff. Even during non-balloon fiesta time, it's a lot of fun to see the creativity of many of these balloons. Not only are they creative in how they build their balloon or put it together or have it manufactured, they're very creative with their chase crews. I know that Tristan and the Enchanted Diamond or Enchanted Horizons team, they have a social media person, and they just did a great one the other day where they were all waking up and coming to Albuquerque from different parts of the country. A lot of fun.
So Joe Stratton says, my kids are begging me to take them to Fiesta. We were watching the glow last night. They love the balloons. Well, Joe, you just need to give in on that one.
That's right. You just need to come to Albuquerque.
Just come on, bring them down. We'd love to have them out here. Balloon Fiesta always starts on the first Saturday of October, so you can plan on it. You can look as far ahead in the calendars as you like. Look for the first Saturday in October. That's when Balloon Fiesta starts.